I believe Hudson-Odoi has a higher ceiling than Sancho.
In 3 matches, 7 goals. 7 goals, did you hear that? Sensational. I don't want to compare him to the likes of Zlatan Ibrahimovic, but...
They gon' know my name when it drops.
And we will be discussing the best under-21 starting 11 in the world. So, Bo, let's start off with the goalkeepers. Who do you have for your goalkeeper?
Okay. My goalkeeper is an Italian one. Plays in the Serie A for one AC Milan. My man, Gianluigi Donnarumma. There must be a thing with Italian goalkeepers with the first name Gianluigi that turn out to be world class, because this kid is going to turn out world class similar to Gianluigi Buffon. This kid is superb. He is young, he is experienced, he's been around for 2 or 3 years, and he is a great shot stopper. And he's really in an AC Milan side that's been rather poor in recent years, well, longer than recent years, for the last decade or so. He's been really a standout point in this AC Milan side, and he is a world-class goalkeeper, or a prospective world-class goalkeeper.
Bo Feekins, I agree with you on this selection. Donnarumma is a special player, a once-in-a-generation type goalkeeper, I think you would say. In the 2019-2020 season in Serie A, he has a clean sheet percentage, hear this, of 39%. Very impressive considering how poor his side has been this year. Considering they're a mid-table side, he is keeping them even in the conversation of finishing in the top half of the table. And I think you have to give him a lot of props for that. So, I really like that pick, Bo. Moving on, give me your right back.
So my right back, the one and only, I would be very, very, very surprised if anyone in the world had anyone else but Trent Alexander-Arnold. Arguably, not just the best under-21 right back in the world, but the best right back, period. For the last 3 years, he has been absolutely superb. Him and his Liverpool side have been to 2 Champions League finals. They're on their way to winning the Premier League this year, and he is very much the cause of that. When you watch Liverpool play, they play through their fullbacks. The fullbacks bomb up and down the pitch. Robertson on the left, him on the right, and they get an insane amount of assists from the right back and left back position. But particularly, Alexander-Arnold has been top-notch this year, the past 2 years, and just to quote Gary Lineker, who tweeted this after a game Alexander-Arnold playing this season, imagine running a game from right back. And that quote just kind of sums up Alexander-Arnold's game and how far he's come in these past 3 years. And if he's come this far in 3 years, I can't wait to see how he is in 5 years. If Liverpool continue to be coached by Klopp.
Again, I agree with Bo Feekins. Wow, this is rare.
I would be very surprised if
Normally we disagree, but today we are agreeing. And Trent Alexander-Arnold, I think something that shows is a testament to his quality. It's his ability to potentially play in other positions because he is such a versatile player. And normally fullbacks are not that. And he is so good going forward, whipping in crosses. I mean, there's no one like him, and I think he is just the definition of a modern-day fullback. Still a solid defender, but going forward, a fantastic player.
I think that's one side of his game that he
could improve.
He could improve on his defending.
Yeah.
Especially like positionally wise, but that's something that comes with when you're young.
Yeah.
And so that's something that as he grows older and gains more experience, he's going to become an elite defender as well as an elite contributor at the other end of the pitch.
And there's no one who can do what he does as well on both ends of the pitch.
Exactly.
In world football. So easy decision. Next, our center backs. I want you to give me both your center backs.
My first center back, someone who had a breakout year last year at Ajax, made a huge money move to Juventus this year, Matthijs de Ligt. And my second center back, Upamecano of RB Leipzig. 2 super promising young center backs who we have to keep an eye out, not just this year, but in future years. They're gonna become established members of world football.
Yeah.
And especially, I think, De Ligt, who had a breakout year last season. I mean, 19 years old, captaining his side Ajax, leading them to the semifinals and nearly the finals of the Champions League. He had a great year last year. He struggled a bit in Italy, but he's young. Give him time to improve, and he will become a dominant center back.
100%. I agree, actually, with both these selections again. That is fascinating. So, Bo, one thing I had for both of these players, not only were they both fantastic defenders, but in the modern football game, what do you need to be as a center back? Good on the ball. And both are fantastic on the ball. De Ligt, I think in terms of young players, he is the best center back in terms of passing. He can pick out a pass from anywhere on the field, and that's like a tribute to his technical ability. Upamecano, on the other hand, fantastic positioning, very good on the ball, like dribbling out of the back line. So I think those are two players, again, who are just head and shoulders above any other center back, 21 or younger.
I would agree.
Moving on to our left back position. I think this is our first place where we have disagreement. Go ahead.
All right, for my left back, I think it's very tough for specifically under 21 to find a promising left back out there. I've gone with a guy who isn't a natural left back, but has been playing left back position as of recent. For my team, Arsenal FC, I've gone with Bukayo Saka, who is just 18 years of age, another young English prospect who originates on the wing, but has been filling the position of left back for Arsenal recently as the Scottish bloke, Kieran Tierney, has been sitting on the bench with yet another injury. Saka's been replaced him and has done exceptionally well. Now I understand he's not a natural left back, and he is going to have mistakes, especially when he's defending some of the best wingers in the world. But he has held his own back there for Arsenal and has been probably one of the standout players in a very woeful season for Arsenal this year. So I had to go with him for left back. I understand he's not a left back naturally, but he's put in such a good performance this year. I thought he should be highlighted. And I'm a little biased because I love my Arsenal.
I was about to say, now that is the take of an Arsenal fan. My left back is primarily a right back, but has also been known to play left back as his second position, Achraf Hakimi. Basically, he's a fantastic player and an example of a modern day fullback because he can get up the pitch and contribute going forward. He has lightning pace getting up the field, fantastic whipping in balls again, and I think he's like Trent, a little similar, where he's almost better going forward than he is defensively. But this season in the Bundesliga, he has 2 goals and 6 assists.
And actually, if you follow Dortmund closely, as I do, you'll know that Hakimi has been playing this year even at some points on the wing. So he's been moved up from that fullback position to the wing, because I think the one thing with Hakimi is he does have a slight problem with defending. He's not strong in that department. But again, also not a natural left back, similar to my position. He is naturally a right back, or even nowadays used more up front as a winger or left full right-sided midfielder.
And you note his defending, but I think the reason why I have him in this side, right, is because football has changed very much, where the emphasis with the fullback obviously is still primarily on defending, but attacking is almost just as important. So I think when you consider that, I think Hakimi is the perfect fit.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
Second perfect. Saka's first perfect.
Moving on to our central defensive midfielder, Bo Feekins. Who do you have?
Okay. Now you might have to do a bit of research to find the guy I've chosen. He's a 16-year-old out of the French league, Standard Rennais. He currently plays for my man Eduardo Camavinga. Now I might have butchered that last name, spelled out Camavinga, but this guy, 16 years old, playing in one of the top leagues in Europe. Now I understand the French league is not one of the best leagues in Europe, but it is up there. There is quality in the French league, and this guy has shown his quality this year. I remind you, I want to repeat this, 16 years of age, he's played 22 matches in the French league at the highest level. He scored a goal, he has a few assists, and he's a center defensive midfielder. He's an absolute tank, and when I was watching a highlight video of this guy, now I'm not going to pretend like I know too much about the French league, especially with Standard Rennais, but when I was watching a video of this guy, one thing that caught my eye was his physical presence on the pitch. He really stood out on the football pitch, and at 16 years of age, in the center of midfield, that's hard to do. It's hard to dominate in the center of midfield, even if you're the most experienced of players. And this kid is 16 years old. He's only going to get better. Keep an eye out for this kid. come the years down, he might turn out to be an absolute superstar at the world stage.
No doubt a promising young player, but is he the best under 21 central defensive midfielder in the world? I disagree. My person who I've picked just got a big move to Sheffield United for roughly £22 million in January. He's actually about to turn 22 on Valentine's Day on February 14th coming up.
Release it before
good thing we've made this video when we have. Sander Berg, all right? He is the definition of what you would think of a central defensive midfield. Proper massive guy. I think he's roughly 6'4" or something like that. And he sits in the middle of the pitch and he is an absolute destroyer. Like we are talking, he sits in that position right in front of that back line and is a very hard player to beat. Good defender just because of his size and his use of physicality. And another player who on the ball, I think he does have some weaknesses because he's not maybe as mobile as other players, but dribbling wise, very solid, can hold up the ball and does it well enough where in leagues like the Bundesliga where he played before, and then also in the Premier League, I think he can be a very successful player in the future. And because of the promise we've seen, a club like Sheffield United, who will be likely playing in the Europa League next year.
Bold statement. Bold.
A club like Sheffield United are like, hey, this guy is a very good player and someone that we want to spend our record club signing on. So I think that is a testament to his promise.
Well, I agree. I think he has a lot of promise. But the one thing I want to highlight is he said he's nearly 22 years of age. My player is 16 years old. And before, where was Sander Berg playing?
He was playing
in Belgium.
Yes, with Ghent.
Nowhere near the quality of level as the French league, Ligue 1. And 5 years younger. And this kid's doing similar things to Sander Berg. I mean, which one are you going to pick up? You let us know in the comment section who would you rather have, Sander Berg or my man Kamavinga. If you don't know who that is, check him out. He is one for the future. Moving on.
Bofigans, our central attacking midfielders. Give me both of yours.
Okay. My first one, who I believe is the most, I'm going to rephrase that, has the highest potential of any center midfielder under the age of 21 in all of Europe, Phil Foden.
Wow.
And the second one.
You know who else said that? Pep Guardiola.
Pep Guardiola said he was the best in the world. And my second one is a guy from the Bundesliga for Leverkusen, Kai Havertz, who last year had a breakout year, very promising young player, hasn't been held to as high a standard as he was last year, but is still having a very good year for someone at the age of 21, sorry.
So, I like both of your selections.
Okay.
But I do not agree with both of them. I've selected Phil Foden as well because, right, I'm a big Pep Guardiola guy. So when he says this is the most talented player I have ever seen, you know what? I'm gonna trust my guy Pep Guardiola. He's worked with the likes of Lionel Messi, so I'm gonna trust his word. Phil Foden is in there for me, and some of the performances he's had with English youth sides, I think warrant his placement in this side.
If Phil Foden played for any other team in England besides Manchester City and Liverpool, he'd be getting regular game time and would probably be in the England national team. But because he plays under the likes of De Bruyne and David Silva, he gets held back a little bit. It's hard to play under those two.
My other central attacking midfielder, Martin Odegaard, right? He has revived his career recently after people thought he was just more of a marketing decision by Real Madrid initially. With Real Sociedad this season, we're talking 20 matches, 4 goals, 5 assists, doing it all. I don't see how he can't be in the side if we're looking at most recent form.
Well, 4 goals, 5 assists, you say?
Yes.
My guy Kai Havertz has 4 goals this season in the Bundesliga. Last year, he had 16 goals in the Bundesliga.
But I'd argue this year, and if we're looking at strictly form, I think Odegaard's been in better form
We're
this
not
year.
looking at strictly form because Phil Foden's in both our teams.
That's
Phil
true.
Foden doesn't play.
That is true. But
So-
I still do prefer Odegaard.
Well, that's an interesting decision. I disagree.
All right, moving on to our front three. Let's start with the left wing position. Who are you putting out there?
For my left wing position, I've gone for a player who I believe also has a high ceiling. Another English youngster. No, not Jadon Sancho. Callum Hudson-Odoi of Chelsea. Now, not many of you might know this, but Callum Hudson-Odoi has been one of England's best youth players in recent years. Won the Under-17 World Cup with the England Under-17 team. Has been performing at the Under-21 level now. And he's recently just broken into the Chelsea side. Now, last year he was in and out of the Chelsea side under Sarri. Ruptured his Achilles, was out for quite a few months, has recently just come back from that injury, and has been kind of in and out of Lampard's side, and now has just recently broken back into Lampard's starting 11. This kid is 18 years old. Keep an eye on this kid. He has pace, he's electric with the ball. He's so good at cutting on to the inside of his foot, shooting the ball into the back of the net. He is a player to keep your eye out for the future, and another promising English youngster.
Wow. Okay. I want you to say the other two players you have, and then I will give my three. Give me your striker and then your right winger as well.
Okay. So then my right winger is another English youngster who I mentioned already, Jadon Sancho. I mean, the guy's having an unbelievable season. After his breakout season last year, he's continued and bettered it this year. 12 goals, 12 assists in the Bundesliga. Already at this point, he became the youngest player to reach 25 Bundesliga goals in the history of the German league. He's a standout player, and I would be very surprised if you didn't have him in your team. And then up front, I've gone with probably the future of football. The next face of football. When the likes of Messi and Ronaldo go on past their careers and finish those, my man Kylian Mbappe,
that's your striker,
is gonna take the throne essentially. He's up front. I know people usually put him out on the wing, but I picked him up front to include Hudson-Odoi because I think he's already world class, and he's just gonna get better and better. And you know, PSG have had their problems, but whether he stays there or not, he's gonna win big trophies. He's already won the World Cup. This kid's the future, the heir to the throne, you might say.
I agree with that actually about Mbappe. What you have said about him. But I put him on my left wing because I wanted to include someone else. So Mbappe is my left winger.
Okay.
I think you've said enough about him. He is by far the best player on this list in my opinion. Moving to my striker. This is where we disagree, both Eakins. Erling Haaland. He has been sensational this season. And I picked my side primarily on form, as I said before. And Haaland this year in the Bundesliga since his transfer to Dortmund. In 3 matches, 7 goals. 7 goals, did you hear that? Sensational. In the Champions League, six matches, 8 goals. Wow, what a fantastic player. I mean, I don't want to compare him to the likes of Zlatan Ibrahimovic, but if we are looking at a player of his height, of his size, physical size, with the amount of skill he's had, I don't think there is a player to that level since Zlatan. Still very different players, but if we're talking a player 6'4", with that much skill, I don't think I can think of anyone recently since Zlatan. I don't think that's a far out statement.
I like the pick of Haaland. I would be thinking it'd be surprising if we didn't include him in one of our 11s because he's been absolutely superb this year. My thing with him is I'm a little bit worried it's going to be a little bit of a one-season wonder sort of thing with him.
There is something to be said for that.
And obviously, he's broken into the Bundesliga. He started his career very, very promisingly at Dortmund.
Yeah.
But the thing is the guy he replaced, so I'm just going to use this example, Paco Alcacer, came as a Dortmund, started out on fire, had like 11 goals in like 5 games. He was in insane form. And then they just sold him this year. It's literally been less than a year since he came in. Yeah. It's been a year and a bit. And my thing is Haaland more than a one-season wonder? And if he is, he probably warrants a spot on this list. But I have to wait personally to see whether or not he can continue this type of form.
Finally, at my right wing position, Jadon Sancho. I agree with you on that one. You got to give the kid credit. The amount of chances he creates, whether it's through his passing and getting into good situations and getting other players' goals or scoring on his own, is undeniable. He is a special talent, I think a generational talent, and someone who will be taking world football to new heights in the future.
And you want to know something? I believe Hudson-Odoi has a higher ceiling than Sancho.
And that is where we differ.
And as someone who has followed youth English football for a very long time, watching the two next to each other, because they are the same age, played in the same age group, Hudson-Odoi has a more all-round game than Jadon Sancho does. Whether or not he will fulfill his potential, we shall see. But as of right now, Jadon Sancho is probably a few miles ahead of Hudson Odoi in terms of progress. But their end of their careers will define them individuals, and we shall see.
Anyways, thank you guys for watching the video. If you enjoyed, make sure to hit the like button. Right now, I will be displaying my team on this side, Bo Feakin's team on this side. I want you to let us know in the comments who you think under 21 team starting 11 is the best in the world. Whose is better, mine or Bo Feakin's? Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Take it easy. Peace.